It's a delight to have everyone here, and what a great day it is for Leon County, for the Leon County citizens, and for bringing to Leon County an alternative fuel that will be very valuable to many of our citizens, many of our business people in Tallahassee, many of our agencies, local and state agencies. We look to this as being a golden opportunity for everybody to participate. I'm Manny Joannis, and I'm glad that you're here. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce young Scott Walker, who is a 7th grader at Montford Elementary School, who will lead us in the pledge. Scott? Feel right.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Scott. For those of you that don't know, Scott did a term paper on CNG when we first started this project, got an A for it. We spread it around the administrative office and the school board office. He did a great job with it. He is infatuated with the fact that we're bringing an alternative fuel to the city of Tallahassee and Leon County. It gives me now great pleasure to introduce to you our first speaker, elected in 2010, Commissioner Adam Putnam, who is the Department of Agriculture Commissioner, and also, what you may not know, is the Energy Officer for the state of Florida through that department. He's done a lot in trying to now focus on alternative fuels, and with that, Mr. Adam Putnam.
Well, you know, in our short time as the state's energy office, you get a whole lot of people who come through your office that have the solution to this or that or the other thing. If only you'll just give them a little bit of money. But we don't get to go to too many ribbon cuttings. We don't ever actually see them come to fruition. And that's what makes this so exciting. The fact that you have a progressive, innovative school district and superintendent and school board who recognize America's domestic energy potential in natural gas. Just 6 or 7 short years ago, the conversation was 180 degrees different. We were talking about building liquefied natural gas terminals all around the country to import more natural gas. We were hemorrhaging manufacturing jobs because the price of natural gas, which is the feedstock for everything that we make, and tremendous industries and fertilizer and agriculture and pharmaceuticals and petrochemicals, all those jobs were going to other countries because their natural gas was cheaper. And in that short period of time, through new technologies, we have discovered just in the United States between a century and a half of natural gas supplies. They can power our homes. They can rebuild our manufacturing base. Today, the prices of natural gas in Asia and in Europe are 4 to 6 times greater than they are in the United States. That's a game changer. And the other game changer is what its potential is for the transportation fleet. Because while in Florida over half of our electricity is produced by natural gas, in America only 0.1% of our mobile fuels are natural gas. And so what's the next evolution in transportation fuels that allow us to have lower costs, that allow us to have energy security, because I don't mind having it come from the Midwestern United States or from Pennsylvania. I don't mind it coming from Canada. But I don't like the fact that we are dependent on countries that don't like us for most of our energy. And so natural gas is a game changer in that realm. And so for school buses, for garbage trucks, for UPS and FedEx, for the beer trucks, for fleet vehicles, it's okay, baby. It's going to get better. For fleet vehicles that start at the same hub and run a defined route every day and return to the same place, like these school buses, this is an extraordinary opportunity for taxpayers to save money, for Americans to be more energy secure, and for us to broaden the diverse base from which our fuels come. And all of the above strategy is what we need to have. And in the state of Florida, as a peninsula, it's particularly important. So we're excited to be here today at what is the beginning of a network of natural gas refueling stations that will keep Florida on the cutting edge, that create new job opportunities, that allow us to be more energy secure, and allow us to run vehicles, manufacturing facilities, and a host of other things in a cleaner way. It's a great day for Tallahassee and a great day for the state of Florida. We're proud to be here as Florida's Chief Energy Officer. Thank you, Senator Montford, for allowing us to be in that position for the legislative standpoint. And thank you, Superintendent Pons, for being a leader among the superintendents and recognizing the potential of safely moving our kids around at a lower cost in a smarter way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Putnam. In February, Commissioner Putnam was here for our groundbreaking, and we're very delighted that he came back for the ribbon cutting and grand opening. Commissioner Putnam noticed that we had a few vehicles parked in the yard. We have considerably more vehicles parked in the yard now, Commissioner, as you can see. Before I introduce the next speaker, I'd like to recognize some folks in the audience. I'd be remiss not to recognize the school board members who have been solidly in support of this project, and we are very grateful for that. Georgia Joy Bowen, Dee Crumpler, and Maggie Lewis Butler are all here in support of this, and thank you. Forrest Van Camp and Dee Dee tried to be here, but they could not come, and we're grateful for them, to them also. I'd like to recognize that Commissioner Brian Deloge is here. Thank you, Commissioner. On that score, Commissioner Deloge brings some staff members that we have been working with, and I want to recognize that Vince Long and John Pompey and Maggie Terrio are here. And for those that don't know it, they have 12 CNG vehicles in their fleet now. So that's remarkable. Thank you. Commissioner Andrew Gillum is here with the city. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here. With Commissioner Gillum comes with him his staff people, Mike Tadros, Vicki O'Neill, and Steve Mayfield, who now have 8 trash trucks that run on CNG, and they have any number of smaller vehicles, as you can see, that are parked here. Thank y'all for being here. I want to recognize that Lynn Bannister with Senator Bill Nelson's office is in attendance, and Janelle Pepe is also here representing Senator Marco Rubio's office. Thank y'all for being here. Send back the message, please, to the senators and let them know that we need energy, national energy policy now. Mr. Wayne Blanton with the Florida School Board Association is here. Thank you, Wayne. Ryan Matthews is here with the Florida League of Cities. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. I want to also recognize David Rogers and Dale Calhoun with the Florida Natural Gas Association, who is in full support in trying to bring this precious commodity to the state. It's already in the state, but open up this new market called CNG vehicles. Thank you for being here. Florida State University is in attendance. Beth Hodges, thank you for being here. Florida State University has now launched an effort to replace their vehicles with CNG. Thank you, Florida State University. And a special thanks to our transportation staff that's in attendance for helping us bring this to fruition. Ronnie Youngblood, Michael Moore, and Jerome Pye, all here in attendance. Thank you that keep up these 44 buses. Appreciate you. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce my boss, Superintendent Jackie Pons, who had this vision in 2000. The city manager is also here. Anita Favors. Sometimes you get thrown off your game. I'm sorry, Anita. I'm sorry I missed you. I was trying to jot everybody's name down. Without further ado, my boss, Superintendent Jackie Pons, had this vision in 2007, and through extraordinary effort has just brought it to fruition, and it's been a remarkable journey and a remarkable project. Just 2 weeks ago, the superintendent was recognized for his leadership primarily on this project. Sustainable Florida, a statewide award. He was named the Sustainable Florida Leadership Award winner. Just has done a remarkable job. We're all, as staff members, very proud of this accomplishment for the superintendent. Superintendent Jackie Pons.
Thank you, Manny. It's just great to be here today. I want to welcome everybody. Before I get started, there's a couple of thank yous. First, I want to thank our school board, because a lot of times the superintendent gets credit for things that happen, but it's a team. And without a great school board, this would not have been able to be accomplished. So thank you, school board, and let's give them a big hand for their leadership. We talked about working together, and Anita Favors Thompson is here, Akeem Akinemi, the chairman for the county commissioner, Commissioner Deloach. If the city and county and the school system didn't work together closely like we do, this would not be accomplished. So I thank our partners in government. They have the same type of vision. They're a partner working with us on this, and I thank them for that, and I thank them for their leadership. Commissioner Putnam, it's great to see you today. It's amazing what can be accomplished throughout our country, throughout our state, if everybody would just work together on trying to accomplish energy goals for our entire state. This new energy, it's clean. 97% of it is in North America. It's right here at our fingertips, and there's really not any excuse for us not to take this statewide and across the nation. This will create the next generation of jobs for our community. So I'm very proud of this, and I think it's the way of the future, not only for Florida, but for our entire nation. You know, back in 2008, I had the opportunity to go before our EDC, and I told them that it was our vision and it was our dream to build a fast-fill natural gas facility that our entire community would be able to use. And during that process, the economy hit, just like it hit the city, the county, the school system. And in our district, since 2007, we've lost $111 million of revenue. $111 million. And I was sitting in my office and I was saying, we can't do this now. There's just no way we can accomplish it during these budget times. But I was thinking, why not go out to the business community, to the private sector? They're the ones that always find a way to create jobs, to create energy, to create dreams. And we just went out to the private sector with a P3, public-private partnership, just to see if anybody would participate. We had 3 different groups that participated. And because of the leadership of the business community, this facility stands in front of you today. And I'm going to ask him to stand up. George from Nopetro, stand up and let's give him a big hand. Nopetro has been a valuable partner, and thank you for our shared vision and for your leadership on this. I like to use real examples because I think everybody understands that. I know I was talking with the Proctor dealership today, and they brought their Civic up here to fill it up, and it was $6.90, and it'll go up to 300 miles. So let's give that a big hand. You know, when we look at our buses right now, we're saving between $6,000 to $7,000 a bus on fuel savings. Our children now understand that this fuel is cleaner, it's safer, it's American made. And we're teaching our children a valuable lesson. the role that they will play in protecting our environment and understanding the role that they play in protecting the environment, because they're our future and they're the ones that have to do a better job at this than we've been able to do. So in closing today, I just want to thank this entire community. This wasn't about me or our school board or our school system. This is a community project. And now everybody in our community will be able to drive in here with a credit card and put $6.90 in their car and drive it all over this community. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a great day, and thank you for your support of this.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Our next guest, longtime friend, and a friend of this community. Obviously, he's not a friend of the school district. He is the school district. He taught school at Bellevue Bellevue Middle School. Taught my wife there. Wow. Principal of both Lincoln High School and Godby High School. Superintendent of schools here in Leon County, and now senator of this region, Mr. Bill Montford.
Thank you, Manny. He didn't mention that he was also a student at Godby before I got there, because he's much older, much older than his wife. There are a lot of differences between Manny and his wife. She's very attractive, he's ugly. She's very bright, he's on the other end. But we are very proud of Manny's role in this. And I was talking to the superintendent earlier, and I asked him, is it okay if I made a comment about Manny? And he said, of course. Manny's I used to say he's a fine young man, now he's a fine old man. And when Manny really took on this job that he's in now, we were elated. We, meaning those of us who have seen Manny grow up in this community. Not only a very successful business person, but also a tremendous friend and colleague as well. I want to thank the superintendent and the school board members for your leadership. I am proud to be in a community that has taken on such an initiative. This was not easy. There were many more people saying this won't work than those who said it will work. The superintendent and the school board, on many occasions, I know, were on their own, and they were out there almost in the wilderness. And there were a lot of those who said this won't work, especially in this economy. But to me, that's the mark of good leaders. When your leadership stepped up and said, we're going to do it anyway because it's best. And what should not go unnoticed is that the beneficiaries of this effort not only will be the community in general, but specifically the young people, the children in our schools. Because every dollar that is saved, the most of that dollar will find itself back into the classroom for the benefit of our children, not just those children who are in school today, but those in the future. Because I believe truly we are at a rather historic occasion today. If you look at this map, as Commissioner Putnam referred to earlier, this is the future. This is the future of Florida, and I believe it's the future of this country. Because with leadership like the superintendent, our board, and our commissioner, Ag Commissioner, Commissioner Putnam, I believe that what you're going to see is a tremendous move forward, a jump, not only in Florida, but in this country, to recognize the importance of what we're doing here today. And I am just so proud to be a part of this. I also want to thank the superintendent for letting Manny work with us, with my Senate staff, on a bill that we'll hopefully be able to make. Commissioner, we're going to need your help on this, to be able to use some of our tax dollars, more of it, in purchasing school buses and other vehicles that we'll use and benefit from this effort. Representative Williams over here, he's a graduate of Rickards High School. We used to beat them bad when I was principal of Lincoln and Godby. But he's here. Representative Vasalinda, I think she's here. I've seen her somewhere. But But Alan, we're going to need y'all's help in getting this bill pushed through, because it's the right thing to do for Florida, but most important, it's the right thing to do for children, because the children in Florida will really be the ones that will benefit from this, not only in the classroom, but when they become adults and they see a Florida and they see a country that stepped up in this manner and be able to make sure that our country is energy efficient. And lastly, I want to thank once again the Commission of Agriculture, who has taken on a role that is tough, not only in this area, Commissioner, but I know you've done a great job in taking on other really sensitive issues. And I also want to thank Superintendent, and I were mentioning this earlier. We want to thank you, Commissioner, for your efforts in taking over the food lunch program. That's not why we're here today, but our children have benefited so greatly with that. So on behalf of our superintendent and our school board here in Leon County, thank you for your efforts. Again, congratulations to this group.
Thank you, Senator. The Senator recognized Representative Alan Williams, and Alan wanted to have a brief word, just a brief communication. Come on up, Representative Williams.
Superintendent looked over at me and I had to set the record straight. You beat us in football, but not in basketball when he was the coach at Ricketts High School. But just real briefly, I wanted to be here to say thank you. Thank you for moving Tallahassee forward in a way that when I was in Lexington, Kentucky a few weeks ago at a CSG summit, which is a Council of State Governments, I was telling folks about, we got compressed natural gas, and then out of nowhere, this representative from Georgia. So you talking about Nopetro? I know about them. I know about them coming to Tallahassee. We're trying to get them in Atlanta. So the work that the superintendent is doing, the work that Manny and others are doing is just phenomenal. And I will tell you, Commissioner, as a ranking Democrat on utility and energy in the Florida House, this isn't a Republican or Democratic issue. It's the right issue for Floridians. And when we look back 5-10 years from now, we'll be able to say that this was the start. And it started right here in Tallahassee. More importantly, it started right here in District 8. And so that's even more important. But to the Nopetro family, we're glad you're here in Tallahassee. We're looking forward to great things. And when I leave here, Manny, I'm going to take my car down to Dodge Chrysler, where I bought it from, talk to Chuck Urban, see how I can get this, get it modified so I can save some money and put it back in the Leon County schools where my children go. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Representative. Speaking of dealers, we have several dealers in the audience today. And what you may have not noticed, but I will bring your attention to, that in 2014 and 2015, all the major car dealers will be providing natural gas. Currently, the Honda dealership, they're here in attendance. They've got some cars parked around here. You can buy a CNG vehicle from them right now. The rest of them, Chrysler, GM, Ford, are all bringing CNG vehicles to the marketplace shortly. Our next guest, Miss Leticia Adams. She is the Energy Policy Director for the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, the Florida Chamber of Commerce has a duty to inspire commerce throughout the state. They see this as a big opportunity for the entire state. Ms. Adams.
Thank you, Manny. Being here in front of all of you, city and county and state officials at one time is really enlightening to see the nexus of two issues I hold dear, which are transportation and energy, coming together and moving forward. Florida's transportation network is probably one of the most diverse in the world. From our extensive network of highways, 3,000 miles of rail, 15 seaports, 19 commercial airports, and the nation's largest and most capable spaceports, Florida moves people and goods far and wide. With the opening of this CNG fueling station, Nopetro is unveiling the first step to creating a CNG network that will add a crucial element to our transportation network and help provide our future energy needs. Because by the year 2020, 2 million more citizens will call Florida home, and we must be prepared. Florida needs important infrastructure investments like those provided in House Bill 599, passed this past session, signed by Governor Scott in April, which will put Floridians back to work on much-needed transportation projects, and while moving forward on a statewide freight, mobility, and trade plan. Business owners are looking for cost-effective ways to expand and grow their businesses. As they start to increase their exports, they will seek efficient and reliable ways to transport their goods through Florida's intermodal logistics network. Our state's investment and private sector's support of alternative energy sources through infrastructure investments, such as this one, are highly important to Florida's economic future and growth in the global trade sector. Nopetro has the right idea. Companies all across the U.S. and right here in Florida are focused on making their fleets more efficient and energy conscious. Companies like AT&T, who has made the largest commitment to CNG of any American company to date by vowing to deploy 15,000 alternative fuel vehicles by 2018. And Florida is a priority state for their expansion effort. A network like the one envisioned by Nopetro would make the conversion to CNG more feasible and deployable for many other companies looking to grow into the alternative fuel market. Superintendent Pons and Mr. Herrera, the Florida Chamber applauds you in your vision into the future of Florida's transportation plans. Commissioner Putnam, thank you for your great leadership and focus on Florida's growing energy needs. To secure Florida's future, we must think about transportation and energy needs for the long term. With this station, Nopetro is doing just that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. In 2007, we began the process of trying to put the puzzle together. In 2008, Superintendent Pons revealed to the EDC that we would be providing sometime in the future a fast fill fueling station that the entire public could enjoy. In 2009, we received our first grant dollars to begin the process. In 2010, we used those grant dollars, and thank you, Charlie Hood, for being here with the Florida Department of Education, who oversees bus transportation throughout the state. There was one vehicle available to us to buy, one CNG bus available to us, a Thomas-built bus, and we're grateful for our good friends with Matthews Bus Company for being here. And we bought those first 8 buses. At the same time, we opened a fast fill fueling facility, not as big as this one, not as fast as this one, but we opened it in 2010 at our Connor Boulevard site. We then began the process of looking to the future. We put out an RFQ, and we asked private sector vendors to come forward and present us what they see as a plan for this site that we're sitting on, that we may convert our school buses all to CNG, that the citizens of this great community can enjoy the benefits of that and be able to fuel those vehicles in a timely manner. We had several companies that made application, but one stood apart. It was similar to Goliath and David and Goliath in this particular instance, because we did have the big company, the clean energy company, make an excellent presentation to us. But we had a blue ribbon committee made up of citizens of this community, respected businessmen and businesswomen that sat on that committee, and I can tell you this group of young men blew those citizens away. We then started the process of negotiation, and I want to thank Steve Asenia, who's in the audience, that led that negotiation team for us, and we signed Nopetro to a contract to provide this facility. Mind you, your tax dollars did not build this facility. This facility was built by Nopetro and private sector money. We obviously used our leverage to be able to entice a public sector vendor to come in and provide this, but it was their dollars that built this facility. George Herrera and his team, Jack Locke and the rest of them just have, you know, I tease them because I tell them they did not exceed expectation because this was the expectation. But in reality, they have exceeded expectation. With that, I'd like to introduce George Herrera.
Commissioner Putnam, Superintendent Pons, Senator Montford, Ms. Leticia Adams, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here today, and I'm particularly delighted to be here today in our state's capital to celebrate the grand opening of Nopetro's Tallahassee CNG fueling facility, the most expansive, most state-of-the-art natural gas fueling operation on the entire East Coast. In 2007, our co-founder Jack Locke and I, realizing that our nation was unleashing one of the most profound discoveries in its history, embarked on an initiative to transform the transportation industry in Florida, to develop compressed natural gas and liquefied natural gas fueling stations throughout the state so that government entities, commercial fleets, consumers of all kinds could dramatically reduce their fuel costs by 40%, $1.50 less every gallon. And not only would we be helping them economically by reducing their budgets, but we would also give them the ability to reduce their carbon footprint dramatically. And of particular importance to our company was the fact that we would begin declaring our independence from foreign oil. The facts are clear. The facts are clear. The U.S. imports nearly 50% of its oil, and massive quantities are coming from hostile regions in this world. With the growing uncertainty and turmoil developing in these regions of the world, any crisis will lead to catastrophic events at home. We don't need to have this. This doesn't need to be the case. We're transferring billions of dollars overseas in fuel. We're losing thousands of soldiers to protect our interests overseas. We don't need to do this. We were blessed with the largest supply of natural gas in the world. We have greater than 150 years of proven reserves. And it so happens that natural gas is an ideal alternative to diesel. It performs exactly the same, if not better. The facilities, they perform, they look, they work exactly the same. The vehicle technologies, they're proven, they're commercialized on the West Coast. Every major manufacturer, American companies, are manufacturing buses and trucks on the assembly line. Nopetro's vision begins right here in Leon County. This is the foundation of a network of stations that will be developed throughout the state of Florida so that consumers of all can utilize this cheaper, cleaner, and domestic fuel. Over the next 3 years, Nopetro will begin developing fueling stations throughout the entire Southeast, turning this vision into a reality. From Pensacola to Tampa to Miami, from Jacksonville to Orlando to Fort Myers and all the cities in between, Nopetro will develop infrastructure so that all our consumers can utilize natural gas. We must act now. We cannot be reactive. We have the largest supply. We were blessed. I want to take a special moment here to thank Commissioner Putnam. I want to express our gratitude for your continuing support of this project. You were here 7 months ago when we were shoveling dirt, and I want to commend you as well for embracing natural gas as part of Florida's energy future. It is such a wise decision. To Superintendent Pons, I cannot say enough about our shared vision and what we have done in your leadership to bring this to Tallahassee. It's truly the benchmark for the entire country. To the city of Tallahassee, I want to commend you for joining this partnership and transitioning your fleets to natural gas. Not only are we going to save millions of dollars for our taxpayers, but we're going to clean our own air at the same time. To Leon County, I want to commend you as well for joining this partnership, for transitioning your fleets to natural gas. And to the Nopetro team, Jack Locke, Chris Pena, Andy Salcinez, David Santizo, Charles Musgrove, Nick Calabro, get ready to build. And on behalf of Nopetro, I want to thank you all for being here today at this special moment for us. We couldn't be prouder and more excited to play the role in this state to develop natural gas fueling infrastructure and create jobs and declare our independence from foreign oil. Thank you.
Thank you, George. For the press people that are here, we now have planned for you to have the Commissioner, Adam Putnam, and our Superintendent, Jackie Pons, fuel vehicles over here as part of our grand opening ceremony. Thank you.
First, I'll discuss a little bit from Leon County's perspective and then a little bit from our company and how we were able to form this partnership. So, Leon County Schools, as every other government entity essentially throughout the state of Florida, was very interested in reducing their budgets, dropping costs, cutting costs. And what happened was, to do that, Superintendent Pons identified transitioning their fleet of 220 plus buses to natural gas. And what that does is that would reduce their fuel costs on every single one of these buses by about $6,000 to $7,000. But the hurdle to overcome was the fact that there wasn't infrastructure. And the infrastructure is very capital intensive, and it requires an enormous amount of expertise to not only design and build and operate it, but also to maintain these facilities. So when we proposed was a public-private partnership where we will come in, we would use our expertise and our capital from the private sector to develop the infrastructure. And then all we would ask of our partner in Leon County Schools was that they would transition their fleet to natural gas. And they would be able to obtain those financial benefits immediately by having infrastructure where to fuel at.
Well, first and foremost, it's a great move for us. We save somewhere in the neighborhood of $6,000 to $7,000 a year per bus on fuel savings. We calculate that these 44 buses that we currently have will save us somewhere close to $300,000 just this year on fuel. So beyond that, it's a great opportunity for the community. This station is not built just for Leon County Schools, although we'll be the major business partner, but it's also built for all the citizens of Leon County. Anyone can go out and buy a CNG vehicle and come fuel it here.
Well, being a part of this community, I'm exceptionally proud. But also having worked in the Leon County School District and knowing that this is a rather historic occasion, sponsored by the superintendent of the school board and everybody that works here. It's a good partnership with the business world. I just can't be more excited. What you see here is a good example of leadership, of commitment to doing what's right, and we don't need to lose sight of the fact that all of these dollars that are being saved here most of those will find their way back into the classroom for the benefit of our children. Right here in Tallahassee, right here in Leon County, right with the Leon County School District, this is a rather historic occasion. And what you'll see is this spreading throughout Florida, throughout the Southeast, and throughout the country. Because this is a perfect example of what we can do to make this country safe, we can make this country free of foreign influence, and we can make this country stand on its own through use of this natural gas. It's a historic occasion, and I'm proud to be a part of it.